right. Thank you guys for just entertaining us and giving a little shout out from where we're from, seeing how, large our movement is, our company is, and how we expanded. Anyway, welcome to Talk Tuesdays, guys. For our notes, we do this every first Tuesday of the quarter, right, moving forward. So our next session will be October 1st of this year, our next update session. Let's hop right into it. As you guys know, your founder and founding partner, King Jay Morrison. I want to get right into updates, cut right to the meat, and then open up for Q&A. Get us all caught up. We had a lot of big things transpire since our last meeting. Biggest of all, for those who have not heard or don't know or didn't get the email or the messages, we sold the Legacy Center. We disposed of that asset. We announced that we would be selling it on our last call. And within 30 days, we were able to not only sell it, but really get a lot of attention in the market and get above our asking price, all cash offer in under 30 days from when we announced it. So it was a great thing for the company, obviously bittersweet, being what LC, meant to many of us. And we know we opened into the pandemic and had a great plan for empowering the community there and having a co-working space and had to pivot from that model. But, through all of our attempts and efforts, it made more sense to liquidate the asset, reposition and restructure what we're doing, lower our operating expenses, and be able to maximize our focus. And so that was a successful sale for us, all together bittersweet. And so that happened within this last quarter since our last meeting. One of our, we listed at 3.5 and we sold at 3.65 and some change. Let's see. Next update, during the last couple months, in the last years, we told you guys we've been held up in our annual audits. One of the biggest hold up from our audit was we had a syndication partner. For those who don't know what that is, a syndication is essentially a joint venture. It's a collaboration within any kind of business or here in real estate. And we had a syndication partner, a realtor, a real estate professional, a guy whose family owned about 1,300 doors of apartment units. His name is EJ Hawkins. He was our partner on our 98 units in Macon, Georgia. Unfortunately, EJ did not play fair with us, and we tried to work with him for years, tried to get him to meet his end of the obligation of being the operational partner on the investment. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. We had to take him to court, and we did that over the last couple of years. But because he was not giving us his reporting and filings, we could not get our audit executed efficiently, which now we will be able to. But nevertheless, on April 29th, we won a judgment against EJ Hawkins out of California. We won a judgment for over $500,000 that we will be awarded. We have to go after him for the proceeds and the damages. But we were awarded by a Georgia state court over $500,000 of damages, including our attorney fees, capital he was supposed to have been repaid us, etc. And so that's another legal pursuit that we have. But again, nonetheless, it's something we now got to put to bed, and we have the winning side of that litigation. And that's another thing that transpired since our last meeting. So we can talk more about that, and that'll be also published in our financials as well. And then I want to talk a little bit about, right, so we sold Legacy Center. One of the most natural questions is, well, what now? What next? The fund and the movement is continuing to move. Movements don't stop. They continue to move. And we're moving forward. We are in a much better capital position. We have much more efficiency in regards to operational costs and cost containment. Now we're not running an entire operation at Legacy Center and reinvesting into the taxes, the mortgage, and different things that come with that particular asset. We have a couple other assets we're still disposing of, so there's some more capital coming in. And we are going to efficiently go acquire cash flowing assets. That our first goal is to get assets that continue to gain passive income and passively cash flow to meet our general administrative and operating costs. So there's no cash burn in the company. So we don't go down, we go up. With that cash flow mitigation, we also will have appreciation in those assets and other assets through syndications, creative strategies, acquisitions, leverage, etc. We have some great banking partners. We have some great lenders who support us and who are backing us. And so we're going to be acquiring those cash flowing assets, gaining appreciation, and just going to improve our net asset value and continue to grow up and build up what it is that we've all believed in and still believe in, have invested in. And we're going to, gain equity and gain appreciation within the company from focused, stabilized real estate investing and minimizing our other activities. So I'm super excited about that. So I have extreme focus right now. We're not into distractions. We're not into noise. We're not into even a bunch of community work. I've personally minimized, we've just had a graduating class of our mentorship program, Big Brother Anonymous, which was a Legacy Center program. We just graduated 25 young men who made it through our Rites of Passage program, which consisted of everything from, trade skills, professional skills, tying ties, health and wellness, mental health, drug prevention, all that. These men graduated. And I announced we're retiring that program. As the founder, but also as an activist and CEO and different hats that I wear, I've minimized all those hats to specifically focus on this hat here, and specifically focus on the growth of this company and success of this company. So I've turned all the other faucets off, and we are going to build this company up and make this company successful. And we're going to achieve our, we did a lot of investing into the company. Our goal was a $50 million fund. We had a big operation to support that goal of $50 million fund. Met a lot of roadblocks and challenges on the way to achieve that. Didn't achieve that. And so we are scaling and focused, and we're just going to build up and grind it up. And I'm going to do it with intentionality and focus. And to show you better than I can tell you. But we're going to win. We're going to work hard. And we're going to stay focused. So that's the path forward, is to acquire assets, use leverage, use these amazing relationships and resources that we have all throughout the country. We have some particular markets identified. We won't be specific about those in this call, but we have some markets identified. We have some partners identified. We have some lenders and everything we need to be successful. All we need now is just time and focus and just to execute. And so that's what we're going to do. Trying to think of any other high-level things here. No, that's it. That's the update. I will open up for Q&A, but there is, somebody said time. In my estimation, obviously we want to grow the company as fast as possible, right? I want to satisfy everybody. We want to quail noise. We want to do all that. But at the end of the day, we want to win. That's all it boils down to. It's not about the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter. It's about the scoreboard at the end of the game. And we're still in that game, and we're well fueled in that game. And so I estimate, though, within the next 18 to 24 months, we will have a stabilized company. We'll have close to, if not supersede, the level of assets we need to be at, full break even of cash flow and expenses, as well as gaining a significant appreciation on our assets, and be in a position where the company is more healthy, and we'll be able to also get to our first profitable year as a company. So we want to do that ASAP, and that's what we're working on every single day. So let's tackle a few questions. I see a lot in the chats. I'll start there. I'll start in the chats, and if anyone wants to come off the chat and raise your hand in the queue, we'll invite you in, and we'll go from there. Let's see. I'll start. What is the current enterprise value of the fund and the company. We don't have that specific number, and we don't publicize that number until it comes out in our audits. I'm a little more. I've been in business 22 years, so I understand the ebbs and flows of businesses. I've had businesses where I literally had $0 and had to pawn a diamond chain to pay my payroll and take on a 72% payday loan where you pay back daily interest to a super hard money lender, and I paid 72% interest. And that company became a multi-million-dollar company when it was flat broke and I had to pawn jewelry to pay payroll. So I understand that's not where we're at. I'm not insinuating that's where we're at. That's not where we're at. But what I'm saying is I understand business. I understand that I've looked at Bridgewater. If you guys look up the hedge fund Bridgewater, it's the largest hedge fund in the world, not America. It's the largest hedge fund in the world. The owner of it, his name is Ray Dalio. In the 1980s, Ray Dalio and Bridgewater, they lost everything. He downsized a company of hundreds of employees down to 2 employees, him and his partner. Then they got so tight that his partner had to leave, and it was just Ray by himself. And then it was so tight, Ray had to move in with his parents. Then it got so tight, Ray had to borrow $4,000 from his dad to make his expenses. That was in the 80s. Today, the Bridgewater hedge fund, Bridgewater company, is the largest hedge fund in the world. So, knowing where we're at as a fund, understanding the challenges that the fund has had, understanding all that we've been up against, and I won't even label them out because I don't even want to be in the excuse bucket. I just understand it's the life cycle of this business, and we got work to do. But I'm encouraged, and if I was just an investor, I would understand that if the business is capitalized and the business is focused and it has a good plan and it's not being undermined at every sector that it tries to go produce and create a plan and succeed the plan, and it's not being undermined, undercut, and not being sabotaged, it has a real chance to be profitable, has a real chance to prove the group economics success story that we all bought into literally and that we hope for. And I understand that's entrepreneurship, that's investing. You could watch a lot of companies that we could rattle off that have had challenges. It's a startup company. We just made 6 years June 1st, and we've been through a lot in 6 years. There's not too many businesses that you can name that have been through this much controversy, turmoil, investigations, COVID, different things, right? So it's been a journey. I would also be especially frustrated at the business. That is, hey, look, I invested and I haven't got what I've seen yet. Hey, our name is being dragged all through the thing. I depending on what mood I'm in or where I'm at as an investor, I can have all those emotions, all those ranges of emotions. But I do also understand as a mature businessman that that you're not out and you're not done in business until you close the doors and you're done and you're out. And people have been saying that about us for 3 or 4 years. And it ain't it yet. And it won't be it, God willing, and with the effort we're going to put in. So that's my take on that. This call seems very vague on information. Can you provide specific real estate that's going to be purchased? I can't, and I won't. If we provide the markets we're going to be in and the assets that we're at, there's a very large likelihood that people will literally call, make videos about, will literally undermine and potentially sabotage the investments and the things that we're looking to make. So that's not what this is going to be. And I hate that we can't be that transparent and have the confidence in the maturity of our people to be able to do so. So it will be a bit vague for that point, if you will. But we told you the plan. We told you the focus. We hope that you have faith in our sincerity and genuine efforts here. And we will continue to do what we've been doing since this thing was envisioned in 2015, 2016. And that is to realize this vision and to put everything on the line and put our best efforts forward to make it work. And anyone who hears we've been an entrepreneur, who has looked at entrepreneurship or looked at big businesses, when you see banks closing and different things happening, not every business will work. I don't believe that's the case for our business. I believe our business will work. But not every business works. There's companies that have billions of dollars that fail with billions. with hundreds of millions. Just look it up. Just Google for yourself. Don't trust me. Just Google search companies that failed with $1 billion of assets. It'll tell you, right? You would say, how could you fail with billions? But it happens. Look at Lehman Brothers. Look at so many, right? So for us, I don't see that being our outcome. I understand what we need to do to win and succeed. And so we're here to give you guys a general update and more details to come in our financial reportings and everything else. Let's see. There's not much more legal fees to be had. Let me see. If you're looking for a redemption, and a redemption, you go to our website, you click the redemption tag, and you can solicit for a redemption. Yes, our company has not been profitable for 6 years straight. We've been reinvesting into the business and we're working our way to profitability. Again, not nearly the first company to report those kind of numbers. Uber, Airbnb took 15 years before its first profitable year. Again, it's part of the ebbs and flows in businesses. Maybe everyone will understand that, but again, we're focused on the path forward and movement ahead. No, me nor the fund is currently under investigation. Sale and proceeds from the Legacy Center, they are in the fund's account, as they should be. Yes. In a public crowd fund, we have reporting, and our reporting will be out pretty confidently by the end of this month. Rashard had his hand up for a while. Let me go to I've been in the comments, excuse me. Thank you for that. Let's see who's got their hand up. Let me go to the, Rashard, you can unmute, please. You can mute yourself. Thank you for your patience.
I got a couple of questions, but I'll keep it sweet. So, long story short, I don't even remember what I did invest, but I haven't even, this is the first Zoom I've been on since I made the initial investment, and I'm pretty sure it was over 2 years ago, but I haven't been able to log into my account. That's my first issue, as far as just logging into my account to see what my balances are, just to see everything into my account. The phone number, that's the 866 number. I called it earlier and I talked with the automated system, and then it was supposed to be transferring me. That's not the first time I got transferred, and I didn't get anybody on the other end of the transfer. So my first issue is my next question would be it was I have shares that I do have, and whatever invested money that I did invest, is there a way to redeem shares or withdraw any of those funds?
Yeah, so to your first question, did you receive today's email?
Yeah, that's the only reason I even got on the Zooms today. I still get the email notifications for the Zooms. It's just not on code.
We'll send out an email just as an update. It's also on the website. Part of what you asked, ComputerShare is our third-party provider for your shares. But we'll send out an email communication that has direct information where you can reach out to them. That they'll handle your shares, your account, that whole thing. You'll get your login access. There's been a bunch of members who haven't taken advantage of that login access. And as far as redemptions, you can get in the queue for redemptions. We are not issuing redemptions currently, and we won't be until the fund is in a capital position to do so. But you can put that into the you can put your request in though. Thank you for your questions. D, is that Dedira Star?
Yes, that's Dedra. Thank you.
Dedra, I'm sorry, I barely see it.
That's okay. So a couple questions. I know one of the meetings they were talking about a board. Is there a board now going forward? And will the focus be only on purchasing real estate going forward to help fund the fund? And then also, I think you may have answered about the money from the sales and also the lawsuit. All that's going back into the fund, correct?
Correct. Correct to the funds. There's no immediate plans for a board, but it is a consideration and something that we are open to pursuing. Right now, our focus is the plan that I laid out as far as the path forward.
Okay, one last question. Are there management fees still going out?
There'll still be management compensation within the fund.
Can that be lowered because of our indebtedness?
For sure. Yep. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Our management team's fees will not eat away at the rest of the fund. That would be counterproductive to us having a successful company. And I see the question here too, will we reduce our management fee? Absolutely. We've already deferred over $1 million of management fees and never charged interest on deferral, although, technically we can, we never have and we never will. Let's see. See any other question? Any other hands raised that I'm missing here? Someone mentioned coming to the meeting with no facts or numbers. We'll do that once our financial audit is in. I want to speak from audited financials. This is not about investors being white or black or whatever. We want to speak to our financials, which we now can complete and we'll have out. Let's see. We're not going to provide a list in the queue, but you can reach out individually to find out where you're at. Jay Sweet, you can go and then we'll go to iPhone next.
Yes, can you hear me just fine?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay. What's the status with creating an executive committee within our own ecosystem? Why or why not? It seems that you're not confident about doing that with the people that we have here.
Open to it. It's a process of how does that look? What are the terms as a committee? How do you pick that executive committee? How do you recruit that? When do you meet, right? All those details. And that's something we certainly can work towards, certainly more than open to. But right now, I want to have laser focus on stabilization. Someone said you said that this should be a priority. I'll see you there. And that's something that we can lean towards. And I hear you. I'm totally open to it. I don't have an issue to it. It's still the details of it. It still takes work.
Okay, I'm gonna let somebody else speak. But as a former Jeremy Academy, we know and we're familiar with the vetting process. So why don't we utilize that?
Sure. I'm saying we can, but it's a process, right? So I'm saying starting that process, right? You're part of, like I say, you're part of JMA. So starting that process, then that means you have to then have a intake process, right, for candidates. Then you have to weed through those intake process for candidates and have to have some kind of metrics in how you weed through the intake process for those candidates. Then you have to have the meetings and the interviews around that. Right? So it's all that.
Okay, I'm Andy, because I don't want it to turn it to something else. But meeting at the Legacy Center with the professionals that we meet to our left and right, we have everything we need here with accountants, lawyers, attorneys, loan officers, why can't we start the process to at least get a step one?
Can you,
Yes.
I'd like to get your credentials. Anyone that wants to volunteer to be a catalyst to this?
This is me. So
Oh, all right. So I didn't know you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I've no problem if someone's going to spearhead helping to assist and take that on. Because if I take it on, either I have to hire new staff, which means more cost. Now we're back to cost again. Or then my focus has to go from moving us forward and getting us profitable and minimizing our cash burn now into creating something new. I know what it takes to do that. That's what I'm saying. I know the workload it takes to do it. And so either we're going to pay for that or we're going to get volunteers to do that, or then my focus has to be taken away to do that. And I believe I still have your number, but if you want to put it in the chat, I'll screenshot it. If anyone wants to be a part of that, I'm open to getting that started in the spirit of collaboration and us doing group economics. But I also know what it takes, and I also know what we need to do to be successful, and I got to be focused. But I'm down for us putting that in motion with your help. So if we're going to get people that are locked in, are professionals, and that don't become distractions and all that, we can't afford, I can't afford distractions, and we can't afford for me to be distracted. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem with doing it, y'all. I'm telling you that straight up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get off. I prefer not to put my phone number in the chat because I'm sure his eyes on here. That's just, but
I understand.
I would like to start. So
I believe if I search your name in my notes, it'll pop up. I believe I still have your number stored or in my notes. But if you reach out to the other trap to the website or whatever the case is, we can, you know.
Okay. I don't want to much time. Thank you.
Thank you. iPhone, please, whoever that is.
Hey, that's me. I have a few questions regarding the refund. I know a few people in the chat and have mentioned that they are looking for the refund. So I just want to make sure I understand. So people are not going to be able to get a refund until the fund is profitable. Did I get that right?
The company is in a cash position to be able to issue redemptions, is what it's called, not a refund, but redemptions.
A redemption. So, okay,
yes.
Until a cash position to give a redemption, what does that mean exactly? Is that a certain amount of money in the bank? Like, what does that look like so that people will understand? Because that just is very vague, right? Nobody knows what that means. Can you explain exactly what that means so that people will know when they're able to get a redemption?
Sure. I also want to have everybody go to our website. We have a lot of material that explains what it is and how it works, and also references our subscription agreement and operating agreement, which breaks it down. But the short version is, if the company is group economics, right, and there's a small portion of the group who will like redemptions, less than 20% of the members will have requested redemptions.
I can tell you to be lying.
And so, when the company is in a healthy enough position to do so from a capital position, because when we issue redemptions, that means it's cash out the bank that we then can't invest, we can't earn, we can't grow the company. Right? So when we get in a position where we can afford to issue redemptions in segments or whatever it might be, then we would do so. We do not have an exact number to that, but if we look at our agreement, it's going to be at our discretion to make sure that we're making sure that the company is profitable for the whole. So we don't want to deplete the company's cash position, although we do empathize and understand that people are going to be in redemption positions, but we have to make sure the company is successful for the whole.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand, I'll move off from that. You all will decide when you will be able to issue redemption. There's not like a set number in the bank. Is when you all decide that you want to issue the redemption.
Not when we want to, but you can word it that way, when the company is in a healthy enough position to do so.
Okay, so my next question. So I'm pretty sure you have access to the bank records of the trust fund. So I know a lot of people have been asking on this chat alone, on this call, what's the exact amount that is left from the 11.2, I think that was the number, raised. And I don't think that needs to be like an audit number. You know what's in the bank account as of today. So what's that number?
Our policy is that we use our audited financials, which we should have within this month, and that's the numbers that we go by.
Not what's in the bank account right now.
That's the best practice. That number fluctuates. That number fluctuates daily. It fluctuates often. And that's
so like you can't look in there now and say this is what's left.
I won't. Because we're going to stick to our policy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So one of the things that a lot of the businesses that I follow are very open.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. I want to just...
No, go ahead. You can finish.
No, I just... someone said no transparency.
Correct.
Our audited financials by third-party auditors is our full transparency. It's in black and white. It's not misconstrued. And that's what we've been doing for 6 years. That's always what we've been doing. And so that's the policy that we want to stick by. That's not being transparent, guys. It just means that in a few weeks, we'll have the exact numbers. It's not to hide it. It's just to stick to corporate practice and policy. That's all.
But aren't we late getting a lot of the audited information?
We are, and I explained.
So why would we be confident that in a few weeks that these audits are still going to come when everybody's behind? Because what audits are we getting now? Is it 2022 or 2023?
2022 and 2023 would come shortly after. What I explained a little earlier in the call.
So we're 2 years behind.
Really, a year, because the audits are 1 year behind within themselves.
Okay, so my other question is the audits
I like to finish for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the other piece is I explained that we could not complete our audits in time because we had this rogue investor who we went to the lawsuit with, and we cannot report our financials because you have to submit all your financials, and we could not get them from the person who was not obliging or cooperating. And so that was a big delay in our audit.
Okay, understood. I just have 2 more questions. I want other people to respond. So I just want to make sure the audited financials that come out, they're going to be in 2022. So that's not really going to show what's happening now. It's going to show the position of 2022.
That's not, no, it will. It will actually show the current books. In our audits, you get the current balance sheet, you get the current cash position, and you get the current subsequent events. And for those who, never mind, that's cool.
Okay, I just have 2 more questions and then I'm done. So one of the things that when I'm looking at businesses is how open and honest they are when people are asking them questions and showing receipts. So I know a few people have asked questions about your wife using the facility and not paying for it. I'm just wondering if that's something that a lot of people are asking. It's clearly something that a lot of people are having issue with. If these are your investors and they invested money and they have issues, why are you saying that it's propaganda, or I can't remember the word that you used, that people are asking for those receipts? It's clearly an issue amongst the members. So why not just provide that and be transparent?
Okay. So one, it's not clearly an issue amongst the members. It's clearly members an issue amongst some and those who propagate this. But just to answer your question, my wife has not misused, nor I, or abused her role or access to the fund or the Legacy Center. Not only did she pay for events, she also promoted events. She also brought dollars to the event. She brought movies and films to the Legacy Center with no commission, etc. And part of it, Queen, is that the constant questions are, for 6 years, is constantly questioning our integrity, our honesty. Even the comments that I read here that say the silly things that they say, that's there's only so much you can yell at the top of the hills for 6 years through audits, through investigations, through everything to say, hey, I'm being straight up and I'm being honest. And if one chooses not to believe that, and you want to try to nitpick and try to say that, whatever the case is, Well, we're not entertaining that. I play straight up. I chose this type of company, a Reg A reporting company, for transparency. It wasn't forced on me. Because it's a private company. I chose this company for transparency to show we could do business together. I didn't know it would be abused this kind of way or manipulated this kind of way. So yeah, a few people come out and make a bunch of allegations or suggestions or innuendos, and I'll constantly be explaining myself for another 6 years. Explaining that, hey, I'm a straight up guy. Hey, I'm a fair guy. Hey, I'm playing straight up with us. Like, there's only so much of that, and it becomes a distraction. And I don't choose to continue the distractions or continue to join the circus.
Okay, my last question. So it seems like you guys were very, very public as you guys were raising money. I think I saw a video of you counting cash in the limousine in the backseat with your wife, which is fine. So you guys were very transparent in all the money that was being raised. But now it seems like when people are asking now for dollar figures, it's kind of hidden behind all these phrases and innuendos and no showing of receipts and all of these other things. So I guess my question is, why so loud when the money was coming in? And then now that it seems like, again, seems because we don't know, that the fund is depleted, why the silence?
There's not silence. I just said, just as loud, and the receipts will be in our audit that give us all the numbers. And then when that happens, what's going to happen is if you are going to take that information and do videos and do blogs and get engagement and get views and do that and create a circus out of it, and our next audit comes, they're going to do the same thing that's been happening for the last 6 years. We've been very transparent all 6 years about what it is we're doing and what we have financially. And you'll continue to get that.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Those are the receipts. Our third-party annual audit are receipts. iPhone, and then Alicia.
Okay, I guess it would be me.
Okay, go for it. I don't know who me is. Oh, yeah, but go ahead. You go.
So my question is this: Will there be any more? Will there be any more dividends given out?
Well,
as we become profitable, yes.
I only received one.
Yes. As we become profitable, yes.
So the dividends was done in 2018, I think it was 2009. When was the first time we received the dividend? I forgot what year it was.
It was one of those years.
Okay, so that was the only one, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right, that's it. That's all. That's my question. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Hi, Jay. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
So my question is quick, short, and to the point, because everybody else is talking about accountability and transparency. My question tonight is, I noticed you have over 5,000 investors. This live, this Zoom can only accept 100 people, maximum 100 participants. Lots of people that would love to hear you speak to them, just like you spoke to us when you were promoting this fund. We would also like to know what's going on. I would like to see you face to face. Will you have a larger Zoom participant allowance the next time we have such a meeting?
If our numbers are going to be these numbers, for sure, we'll pay extra for the larger Zoom. But our average numbers our average numbers the last 6 years have been 20 to 30 people in the Zooms.
Yeah, because right now, like a lot of people would definitely like to be a part of this conversation, and they're going to be getting it secondhand. And, you know, that's kind of, it makes a lot of us more angry. I am an investor, so I understand where you're coming from. Not every investment is a winning investment, and truly investment it takes years. So that we understand, we want to be patient with you, but we need communication. We need open communication. And that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to just reiterate that, and for those who've been regulars, they know that we normally have 20 to 30 people on the Zooms. So there's no reason to open up and to pay for a larger Zoom. Tonight we have a larger turnout. And so we'll do that if everyone's going to show up. That's cool. Before we went to quarterly, we were doing monthly. Before that, we were doing weekly. We've been very, very open and very, very transparent and communicative. And we'll continue to do so and continue to improve upon that. And I do really appreciate your feedback. But, again, we'll stop there. Thank you for your feedback. Alicia? Okay, we'll go to, Alicia's not ready, we'll go to Sean. He had his hand up, okay. Sean was not there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing? Okay,
Sean.
how you doing? I mean, the last time you had I got on the call late, so I don't know if this question was asked. So, my question is, like you said, it was the investor that actually had put the most money, who called that town hall meeting, who caused the town hall meeting. The question I have is, he was very articulate. He pretty much found the devil in the details. He found the devil in the details because that's where on the paperwork, he found the devil in the details, and he was able to show everything and actually prove everything. My question to you is, how come you had him when he invested his $40,000? You did a whole Zoom with him. And when he was asking the hard questions this time, you wouldn't do a Zoom with him on that couch, the same way you did the first time.
Sean?
Yes.
The investor you're talking about who calls the town hall?
Yes.
One, there was no devil in details. There was nothing proven. Two, at the town hall, we asked him to speak. We called him out. We explained to him. We want to hear from him. He didn't speak at the town hall. He didn't have that conversation at the town hall call, King Sean. We were there. I answered questions for 3 hours. And guys, I'm not nonchalant. I see these comments. I'm ready to get to work and be successful. I stood for 3 hours in October or September, 3 hours, and answered every question that everyone had to ask for 3 hours straight. And then sit in all the receipts afterwards in a recap. And the person who was the biggest accuser was sitting there, and we asked him to speak, and he wouldn't speak. And he didn't speak.
I watched the town hall and didn't see him actually invited.
I'm not making it up. We watched the town hall again, and you're going to see us call out his name. My wife called out his name. I called out his name. And he was there at the town hall. I'm not just making this stuff, man. He was. He didn't speak. So you have to understand, I get you all's frustrations as we grow this company and all this innuendo, and you can't tell what's really true because so much is being said and so loud. I can't continue to just, to just over-explain things that you're telling me. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm addressing everything every time I can. How much more can I do this? All I can do right now is, the biggest receipt is to be successful and to be profitable. All the Snickers, all the J is this and J is that, they all change with success. That's it. I can just tell you better than I can tell you. I don't want to argue. I don't want to debate. I don't want to keep going back and forth trying to prove my integrity for 6 years. I'm going to just show and prove. And I'm here to be transparent, here to answer questions. I've been doing it for years, y'all. But this is not new. I don't run. I'm solid. This has been a very interesting journey. This has been a grind of a company. There's been a lot of challenges. But we're still moving forward. Let's see. But thank you for your question. But I'm just saying that we gave a floor an opportunity to address all that we addressed. And I stood there and, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing what I can do, but it becomes a circus. And it becomes this is real life for me. Like, I'm really about this movement.
Jay, you gave me a cease and desist. You gave me a cease and desist. You gave me a cease and desist. That's why I didn't say anything at the town hall meeting. Did you give me a cease and desist when I walked in? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Excuse me.
Oh, them got good.
Excuse me. A cease and desist letter is to cease and desist from telling lies and slander. You can tell all the truth you want.
And everything is documented at TulsaRealEstateFraud.com. And it's all truth. It's all truth.
Listen, so then you should have spoke your truth.
You gave me a cease and desist.
If it's not lied.
You gave me a cease and desist.
Only for you telling lies and slander and defamation. That's it. You can say whatever you want to say. It's not lies.
You funny, homie.
That's all.
You funny.
Anyone can. I want all you all to Google cease and desist.
I invested
right? Slander and
into
defamation.
this trip, my real estate fund.
Proceed.
Who's that
Got
speaking?
Jay Morris had raised $15,000.
He's talking about something else.
First time a black person had tried to put together a real estate fund.
I don't know who that's speaking.
We all got
Bro,
scammed.
Here we go.
Wow.
No one got scammed. All right. To all the partners that understand this, no one got scammed. I don't scam. We don't scam. We're working. Period. We're working and been working. It's not. It's a grind. And I understand your frustrations. I understand the misdirections. I understand the allegations. I get it. It's been 6 years of it. I get it. But for 6 years, I'll stay solid in all of it. And we'll continue to grow, continue to grind.
So how did the Mooney Ave end up in your name if the fund bought it for $800,000? How did it end up in your name for $80?
If you watch the Zoom video and look at the receipts we sent out, it's all explained. It's like everyone, like you're trying to have this gotcha moment.
Can you explain it? Can you explain it right now? I have a question as well.
I'm not going to continue to explain the same things I've been explaining.
It just doesn't make sense how the fund money bought a property for $800,000 and then somehow through a couple LLCs and a couple months later, it's now in your personal name for, what was it, $80, $100?
No, sir. So you think that could possibly happen and
That's Fulton County record.
Excuse me. Let me give you the.
It's on Fulton County record.
I'm going to explain. Let me, and then we're not going to get into. This is not that. This is not going to get into a allegation courtroom. It's not what the trust office is about. Y'all, you guys are. Anyway, to explain to you, the fund profited nearly $30,000 from me personally buying the Mooney from the fund while giving the fund development rights. The fund made, I think, between a 19 and 27% return in that 30 days that it bought it. It was not at $80 and whatever is insinuated. But I could prove that, and then you're going to say, well, what about this and what about that? This has been going on, guys.
Well, Jay, we're going off Fulton County records, Jay. We're not going off he said, she said. We're going off the records of Fulton County. On the tax records, you bought it for the fund bought it for $800,000. Where'd that money go?
Well, I have a solution. Can I have the floor?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, we see where everything happens.
One second, excuse me. 1 second. If a brother who's asking that question, if you look in your search engine or your email, search Treff Talks, I think it's Treff Town Hall. I think it was the title of it, Treff Town Hall Recap. And it literally breaks down all the documents. It's all explained, and all the questions you're asking are right there with the replay. It's right there, bro.
Can you get the website back up too, by the way?
Yes. So someone wanted the floor.
Yeah. Pretty much I was just saying, I see what's going on. I'm not a trust investor and stuff, so I don't want to speak too much about how everybody would feel about it. But I'm all about, solution-based things, you feel me? So
Can I ask you a question real quick before you say that? If you're not a trust investor, how'd you get this call? Because it's only looking out the members.
Well, I just feel like, my position right now is...
Excuse me, I have a question. If you're not a trust member and partner, how'd you get the link to this call? Because it's only for members.
I mean, it doesn't matter right now. I'm just trying to provide a solution.
Excuse me, bro. It does matter. This is a private.
But Jay, I'm just trying to provide a solution, though. I'm just trying to provide a solution. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to come and cause any. I'm just trying to provide a solution.
Listen. I may allow you time to speak, but I want you to understand how circus is becoming. It's a private company call. You're telling me it doesn't matter how you got the link.
It's 15,000 people. I think the whole social media will be able to get this link. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm just here to
All right, so listen, I want to offer you professional courtesy to speak on our private call, but I'm saying, can you identify yourself and how you got our private member call? Give me the integrity, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely. My name is Moist Tran. You can find me on Instagram at billionaire_moist. I'm a real estate developer at Bright Raven Group down here in Florida, but I live here in Atlanta.
Okay.
Buckhead.
And do you mind sharing how you got our link? That's all I'm asking.
It's 15,000 people. I'd rather just say I just got the link up.
Moist, don't worry about it. Moist, it's okay. I got it, Moist. Only a fraction of the 15,000 investors are actually getting. Moist, I got it. Moist, I got it. Only a fraction of the 15,000 investors are actually getting emails. And so once somebody that does get the email actually shares with us that we got it, then they share it with us, and we have to share it with each other on social media because investors are not getting the email. In chat, if you did not get the email, please type in chat that I did not receive the email.
No, listen, that's not what we're.
Go ahead, show it, everybody. If you did not get the email, show that you did not get the email. So we have to mobilize ourselves grassroots to share the information about the Tusla Real Estate Fund, even though we were your biggest supporters and you've turned on us. We were your biggest supporters in the midst of people who did not support you. And now you have turned on us and you're treating us as the enemy.
We're not going to make a circus throw out of this movement and this fund. Right? I'm being as professionally courteous as possible. I just asked the brother where he got it from.
And I told you. I just answered it. He did not know. I told you.
I'm just trying to provide a solution. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to come here and stir no pot up. I'm just trying to provide a viable solution. You know, I'm not trying to be here trying to be an antagonist. But honestly, this is why I'm just give me like 15 seconds. Jacksonville, Florida has a very good market. You get me? As you guys can see, they're doing a lot of development. Jay, I don't know how much is left on the balance or cash-wise. But you could buy these properties for like $75,000, $60,000, and you could use a hard money lender called Kiavi or Lending One. You know, they'll let you put 10 to 20% down on these properties, and then they'll give you a rehab loan so you don't have to come out your pocket personally in order to get that done. I would just recommend if you're going to flip these properties, like I said, you could buy for $75,000, 10% of that down is around $7,500 plus closing costs. You're going to have like $65,000 left. Just put like $25,000 to these properties. I have contractors and stuff who will do it for way cheaper. You get me? Because, like I said, I'm not here to provide like any problems. They'll get it for way cheaper, under 10 grand in work, and just flip these properties for like 145, 160. And if you want to, just keep some of these properties, keep them on Section 8. I have a great partnership with Big Bend in Florida and Section 8, and we could just talk more about it. But I'm just here to provide a solution. You can just flip 4 properties per year, and then everybody gets their money back in 5 to 6 years, and then we're all good. Everybody may not get their money back. Some people might want to keep equity in these properties. But you can always form a partnership with everybody because at this point, I'm not saying you're going to be able to make the 12 mil back in 5 years. That's very unrealistic the way things are working. But you can provide a solution to make everybody feel content and say, okay, cool, I'm getting something every 6 months, every 3 months. Okay, I know I got the 10 grand coming back in. No, everybody has.
Let me stop you right there. I appreciate that, and that's aligned with what our strategy is moving forward. We'd be down and open. You can come to the best contact for you to send them a message over with your contacts. Open for it all. But this is not the public forum. I don't want to continue to allow our fund to be made a mockery of. Right? I'm not saying what you were doing. I know your intentions are well, but this is not how it's done. But I do appreciate the spirit and the heart of what you're saying. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what I said at the beginning of the call, is that we're going to invest in these leverage for cash flowing assets, gain appreciation, equity, and grow the company.
So how are you going to do that differently? How are you going to do that differently, Jay? You haven't done it for the past 5 years. So what has changed about you or the strategy going forward? What's different?
The strategy's changed, Julian. I mentioned earlier in the call that we were initially building a $50 million fund. We also were focused on private lending for other developers. We were raising capital at the same time. We opened the Black House at the same time and into COVID. And these were different things that were going on as we're growing a larger company with a larger focus. Right now, we're a slimmer company with a more streamlined focus. That's how it's different.
But it's still you.
Company then,
but it's still you.
Activity.
It's still you as the head coach.
Correct.
And you aren't winning.
Exactly.
You don't have a history of winning.
And I'll show you better not to tell you, brother.
I came to your office years ago, and I told you needed to put on the 45 jersey, and you still haven't.
I remember that. I remember that.
And what happened?
I remember that.
And what happened?
I still was dealing with the operations of our largest asset and trying to stabilize it, and a bunch of other things that were going on at that time that I can mention that happened. And you understand what I'm saying? So we can have that conversation. You've always had an opportunity to have a conversation with me, but that's not how we took it, right? Like, but now we're on a public setting having this, private talk. But the point is, even if it's just appointed with my investment strategy, anyone that's criminalizing me, anyone that's slandering me that kind of way, that's wrong. You're wrong. Not just morally wrong. You're literally wrong, and you're morally wrong.
I'm not literally wrong. You violate if I do. I believe that you violate fiduciary duty, and I have the right to go to the authorities to have them investigate. I know I'm not the decision maker. I know I'm not the wait. I know I'm not the decision maker, but I can present evidence to the authorities, and they will ultimately decide.
This is not how the call works, man. This is not how the call works.
What are you talking about? It's an open forum, isn't it? What do you mean it's not how it works? Because you're losing?
This is not how it works. I'm not going to continue the mockery. The circus is over.
There's no circus, Jay. We put together evidence that show that you may have violated fiduciary duty. The Alphabet Boys will investigate that information, and they will make the ultimate decision. You are correct. This will not be decided in the court of public opinion, but it will be decided by the authorities. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, but we have accusations. Accusations are not saying that you are wrong, but it is that we have presented evidence that we believe that you were wrong.
But you have blatantly said that I was wrong. You've made those accusations as if they were fact, right? And not accusations.
I have to present facts when I'm making an accusation, don't I?
Family, I appreciate this Treff Talks. October 1st will be our next one. We may do a special one. As our financials come out, they'll be coming out. I am open to the board we talked about earlier, so we will. Anyone reach out about that?
I would love a seat on that board. I would love a seat on that board.
Our job is to put our head down, like I mentioned earlier, get focused, and make us successful. I apologize that this movement has gotten to this degree of what it's gotten to. It's kind of mockery, but nevertheless, I'm focused. I've been through more and tougher things in life, and we're gonna grind it up, and we're gonna get it, and we're gonna meet the mission that I came for. All the jokes and naysayers have at it. Do what you do, but for those who are serious about empowering black people, the spirit of Black Wall Street, everything I've stood on and stood for over a decade now to show you consistently. I understand this company has had challenges. That's part of many companies. That's part of the movement. But we're going to put our head down. We're going to focus. And you're right, Quentin, we're going to keep pushing. That's all. The movement don't stop. It keeps moving. Always going to be detractors. There's going to be naysayers. That's part of it. I get it. But all I can do is show you better than I can tell you. I love y'all. I love y'all. It's unconditional. I appreciate y'all. I don't mind iron sharpens iron.
Hey, Jay,
but it gets to a point where we're operating.
Hey, Jay, this is Jay Sweet. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Thank you. Can you please not get off the call? Because we need this.
Right.
And answer some more questions. I know a lot of emotions and feelings in the air, but as professional black people, we need to have these uncomfortable conversations. Can you answer the other questions that other people have?
King Jay.
Yes, sir.
And you know I respect you dearly. All of you. Not just because I know you personally, but all of you, I respect y'all dearly. I've been doing this, King, giving of myself, of my time, of my mental health, of my families, of our reputation. I've been giving it, family.
Jay Morrison has a long history of scamming black people. Just check the court record.
Okay. Listen,
Will
I'm not going to entertain that. I love y'all. We're going to keep the movement, positive energy. That's all I got to say, man. It's Treff Life for life. Like, we working. That's it.
Check the court record.
Good evening, y'all.
Google his name. Check.
What up? What's up, y'all? Yeah, he didn't want to hear from me. I wasn't going to speak, but when he started lying even more, I had to. But I'm proud of all the investors, all the questions that they were asking. They studied, prepared. Shout out to that lady. Shout out to some of the gentlemen. You asked the right questions. And this is a season of discernment, family. this is the season of discernment. There's a lot of scammers out here, and as stewards, as good stewards of our resources, we got to be more aware. I know a lot of us are givers. We have open hearts. We're optimists. But there's people out here who seek to take advantage of good people. And Jay Morrison is one of them. So, really proud of everybody in the questions that they asked. He can't stand the pressure. And ultimately, the pressure from us on social media, that's not actually what's going to move the needle. The pressure from the Alphabet Boys, which is the FBI, the DA, the Secretary of State, and the SEC, that's ultimately what's going to lead to change and accountability and justice. So we can comment all we want on his page and on posts and YouTube videos. None of that moves the needle. So for all the investors that are out there, I encourage you to file your complaint with the Secretary of State. File your complaint with the Secretary of State. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And so the more noise we make, the more pressure that's going to be applied to him. All right. If you go to my page and you comment Treff, you'll get an automatic DM. Which will give you the link to file your complaint. It'll give you a link to our Facebook group so that we can stay connected, because most of the investors aren't actually getting the emails, right? This is why the Zoom attendance has been so low. So what happens is only a few investors are getting the emails. We don't know how that particular group got selected. And then once they get the link, they have to share it in the group, and then we go spam it out to as many people as possible so that everybody is aware. So if you're wondering how strangers get on the call, it's because this is how we have to move. We have to do grassroots organizing against our own fund manager, right? So this is the nature of the game. This is what we're up against. This is who we're up against. He thought that he could get away with this because he's done a lot of bad one-on-one deals with people that he scammed. But this is a federally regulated fund. And there's 15,000 of us. So this isn't just a one-on-one deal, and he uses certain legal tactics to slide out of that. This is a federally regulated fund, and he will be held accountable according to federal and state standards. So I think he bit off more than he could chew, thinking that he could get over on 15,000 of us and to get over on the Alphabet Boys. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm not going to allow that to happen, and I'm going to keep my foot on his neck. Until action is taken. Now, I will say this. Everything that I presented are accusations. They are accusations, okay, around his violation of fiduciary duty. They are accusations. And when I'm coming with a case, I'm going to present what I believe are facts. Those facts include documents from the Secretary of State for the LLCs that he's filed. Those documents include deeds from the assessor's office and things, and then of course the filings of the SEC. So I'm using data and evidence that is public knowledge. And when I've been able to piece those together as a fellow real estate developer, as a fellow real estate investor, actually I don't know if he's actually invested in real estate, and a former friend, I'm able to dig into those documents and identify things that don't make sense. And so what I did at TulsaRealEstateFraud.com is I put together 200 pages of evidence, of factual evidence, not opinions, not I don't like this guy, of actual evidence that lays out what we believe is a violation of fiduciary duty. First, his purchase of his personal residence and somehow ending up with not only his personal residence but the 27 acres. Also, him paying Jay Morrison Academy employees using the fund's money. Paying Jay Morrison Academy employees using the fund's money. What do I mean by that? He had Jay Morrison Academy. He had the Tusla Real Estate Fund. He was paying Jay Morrison Academy marketing team out of the Tusla Real Estate Fund, even though they weren't doing a lot of Tusla Real Estate Fund things. After the actual initial marketing of the fund, there was really no additional marketing to be done unless he was marketing to find real estate developers and deals to attract to invest in. So there was no need to actually have a marketing team at that level unless he was also going to be raising another $40 million to get to the 50 million mark, right? So they were being paid. J. Morrison Academy employees were being paid by the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. The other act is him and his wife having unrestricted use of the Legacy Center. As you can see on that call, he had no evidence he could not present, and he never presents evidence of any transaction showing that he paid to use that space for his credit to cash flow game show, right? Which all of those trademarks are in his name, so we don't benefit from that. And then his wife using that space for her greenlit ATL events, as well as her podcast, right? It's negotiable, then it's non-negotiable, right? They will be hard pressed to present transactions that show that space was paid for by them. So they had free, unrestricted use of that space without any of that energy coming back to the fund, right? So this is what we're dealing with, and the Secretary of State is now interviewing investors. We have over 200 complaints put into the Secretary of State, Georgia Secretary of State. So even if you're not in Georgia, you can file there, and they are conducting interviews, right, to get a more rounded perspective, even though I've laid everything out for them for it to be an open and shut case. All right. So that's what we are dealing with. That meeting ended up no different than the town hall meeting. A lot of generalizations, no actual numbers, no actual facts, no actual data whatsoever, just smooth talking, or seeking a smooth talk. But we now know how to see through the lies of a narcissist and a failing fund manager who won't give up control. It is crazy that we have to chase after our own money. We have to chase after Zoom links for meetings. It is absolutely insane what is occurring, and he can't see it. That's the issue. He can't even see it. So once he realized that I was on his neck, he has been off of social media since April, I think, 17th. And he's been focused on how to actually become the Jay Morrison that we thought he was. I hope that he actually becomes that man at some point. But I think he's run out of time, right? So for all the investors, I talk about financial forgiveness. For all the investors, I talk about financial forgiveness, okay? So we've all made bad deals. We've all lost money. Money's been stolen and things of that nature. It is possible for us to forgive him in the spiritual realm. Excuse me. It is possible for us to forgive him in the spiritual realm, okay, but still hold him accountable in the earthly realm. It is possible for us to forgive him in the spiritual realm, but still hold him accountable in the earthly realm. There's man-made laws that he violated, that I believe he violated. Excuse me. I want to be very clear with my language, that I believe he violated. And his actions have to be tested up against those laws, specifically around fiduciary duty, right? As the fund manager, making sure that he was operating in our best interest and not his own best interest. And that's that. But I have no hate in my heart, as I had to be firm with him, because when I see him lie blatantly, like, he knew he sent me a cease and desist, but he didn't say that on the call, right? And so I actually wasn't going to speak at the town hall. And the reason why I wasn't going to speak, because I never wanted this to be about Julian versus Jay. That is not what this is. That's not what this is. This is 15,000 investors versus their fund manager. Okay. This is not about Julian versus Jay. So I'm going to continue to gather any additional evidence. I'm looking forward to seeing when those SEC filings come out, and I will dig through them to make sure that they are sound and everything adds up. And I'm going to keep doing it on this front, and I'm going to keep pushing towards the Alphabet Boys, making calls, making connections, meeting people in high places, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay. At the end of the day, the Alphabet Boys will be who determine whether or not Jay violated his fiduciary duty. He wrote the subscription agreement in a way that protects him in a lot of ways. But even if you've written it, an ironclad subscription agreement, the one thing that you still cannot violate, despite how you've written it, is fiduciary duty. Fiduciary duty. Okay. So this is what it is. This is what it is, family. I thank you for showing up. Please, if you know any Tulsa Real Estate Fund investors, please share this with them so that they can get the information and that they can see the foolery for themselves, because all 15,000 are not aware right now. All 15,000 are not aware right now. Okay, and so please continue to spread and share this information to the people, and I'm gonna keep pressing forward until we have justice. All right. Oh yeah, this is a waste of time for me. This is a waste of time for me, family. I have so many better things to do. I have a whole business to run. This is a waste of time for me. But I took a 40K hit, whatever. I brushed that off the shoulder. It's whatever. I moved on. I'm focusing on multiplying that, whatever, right? But I know that there's a lot of investors who invested their last $500. There's elders out there who invested, who this is actually going to hurt them financially. $40,000 doesn't hurt me financially, but it makes some people make some new decisions about what they were doing. Now, if they were sold a pipe dream that their $500 was going to become $100,000 at some point, then that was them being misled or not being educated. But I know some people who invested 5 figures who don't have 5 figures to lose, right? So I am taking a stand for them and what I've learned about righteousness, right? I stand for righteousness, especially in this financial literacy space, in this real estate space where a lot of scams have happened. What I learned about righteousness is not just about us being good to us being good to other people. That's actually easy for a lot of us. Righteousness is not just about us being good to other people. Righteousness is actually also standing up for the good people when bad people are doing bad things to good people. And that's the part of righteousness where a lot of people don't want to operate, because it requires holding other people accountable. And when you hold other people accountable, what happens is when you point out some other people's stuff, guess what? They start to point out your stuff. And because we all know we have stuff, right? We actually don't call other people out to be the highest version of themselves, because we know that when we call them out, they're going to call us out to be the highest version of ourselves. And so my record is pretty clean. I've walked a straight line, and yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect, but I haven't violated from anybody. I haven't stolen from anybody, right? So this is where we're at. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, I agree. To protect yourself going forward, watch out for who he hangs around and who hangs around him and who doesn't hold him accountable. Watch out for who still associates with him and his family, and watch out for who doesn't, right? Who doesn't hold them accountable. And you'll start to see the whole ecosystem of scammers in not Los Angeles, but in Atlanta. It's very clear, it's very evident. How could you befriend somebody who you know is taking advantage of the community, but then say on your platform that you're all for the community? It doesn't work like that. I followed biblical protocol. Biblical protocol was to try to go to him directly. I spent a month trying to get a meeting with him once I got the last SEC filing and saw that the fund was in jeopardy. So you go to your brother first. I tried to do that. He kicked the can for a month, right? Then you try to get other people to go with you. So there's some other people who I've tried to reach out who I thought would have his ear, but he is so I'll say it, arrogant, that he can't take guidance from anybody. That's why there's no board of directors. Because he can't take direction from anybody. I thought he could take direction from some of the people that I reach out to, but that's not how he operates. It's just not in his makeup, right? So you try to go with other people, and then eventually you have to go public. And so unfortunately, I don't want to be here. That was messy. It wasn't really messy. I've seen worse online, right? But I had to call him out because he was lying blatantly in front of 1,000 people. So you got to go public. I've even tried to go to the church. And the moment I went to the church, the pastors who are in relationship with him or had a relationship with him, they're like, oh, he's no longer part of my flock. He belongs to this person's flock now. You still have his phone number. You can still make a phone call. You're an elder. You have wisdom. You can come at him from a spiritual angle. There's probably members in your congregation who have been negatively affected by this. It's just weird. It's just weird out here. So, living family, find your crew, of your 5 people who you trust and you know will rock with you, and just keep them close. Keep them close. This is sad for the community. This is really, really sad for the community. It's really sad for the community. This man had the opportunity to go down in history. And he will go down in history, but I think for the wrong thing. His comparison of a real estate fund to a tech company or to a fund by Ray Dalio, there's no comparison. When real estate, you win on the buy. And I don't know if there's one profitable real estate deal that he actually made. Not one. So you can't compare a real estate fund to a tech company like Uber or Airbnb. So he's playing on the ignorance. I'm not calling you ignorant, but he's playing on the ignorance of investors, especially those who were only capable of investing $500 in hopes to keep you in his good graces. And I'm here to shed light on the things that he's hiding in darkness. All right? So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, pulling up. Again, share this message with as many investors as possible and use this as education, financial education, unfortunately in a negative way that costs a lot of people. Use this as education and to make sure you keep your antennas up, especially when it comes to investing. I'm not saying all investing is bad. Everybody is not a scammer. There are a lot of people out here in the financial literacy and real estate space who are doing great work. I posted some of the developers that I've worked with, from Anthony Kimball to Booker T. Washington, Chris Senegal, right, Brittany Rogers. These are some of the other investors that I invested in. So people like, Julian, you done for investing in that? No, that was my lowest investment. I was the lead investor in 4 other black real estate development funds. Okay, $40,000 was my lowest investment, and I did that because I wanted to be part of and support, not only be part of, but support this beautiful vision that I saw unfolding. So don't write off everybody just because of this, right? Keep your antennas up, but don't write off everybody. Okay. All right, family. I'm about to sign off. I didn't even know this was happening this evening. I actually posted at noon that there was no email sent out, and then all of a sudden at 1 o'clock an email gets sent out. I think he was literally going to skate and just think that nobody remembered that we were supposed to meet on July 2nd. But an email went out at 1 o'clock and to a few investors, and we gathered and we got as many people there as possible with the Zoom account limited at 100. His Zoom account was limited to 100.